In last session or in the last lecture, we have completed the analysis of beams. In today's session, we will discuss about the analysis of frames. Now, same as that of the slope deflection method, we have to analyze here two kinds of frame. That is, first it will be the non-sway frame and second will be the sway frame. Okay. So problem will be the same. Just we have to apply the funda of moment distribution method to the beams, and same funda we have to apply for the frames also. Now, initially the first part, as we have to consider analysis of statically indeterminate rigid jointed rectangular frame, and we have to consider 2 points. That will be, first will be the non-sway frame and second will be the sway frame. So these two frames we are going to discuss, or we are going to analyze using this moment distribution method or the concept of MDM. Now what is the sway basically? Now we'll just quickly discuss the basic fundamentals. What is the sway? What is the meaning of sway frame or the sway? Yes.
Side to side.
Side to side displacement. Good. So we can say in case of frame, if the frame it is having the side to side displacement, or we can say suppose this is the frame, and due to the loading conditions on it, if it is having the horizontal displacement, side to side it is also correct. So we can say if it is having the horizontal displacement, and that horizontal displacement in case of frame it is possible due to the horizontal loading, so we can conclude, so the sway frame is nothing but displacement due to the horizontal force, and that displacement it is the horizontal displacement, or we can say side to side displacement. Okay, so that is the basic meaning of the sway frame. Now we have to identify whether given frame is sway frame or non-sway frame. Okay, so there are certain basic points that we should know to identify the given frame in non-sway category or the sway category. That is the first point we have to do. Now there are three conditions, or there are 3 points we have to remember. The frame said to be non-sway. So there are 3 conditions that we have discussed. The frame said to be non-sway. So if that frame it is satisfying 3 conditions, and fourth one is the condition that is for the support reactions at beam level. So what are that 3 conditions? So what are the 3 points for any frame to be non-sway? These parts we have discussed in the unit number 1. Same point I am repeating.
Symmetrical loading.
Yes, very good. First will be the loading should be symmetrical. Very good. Second?
Your support condition of same.
Yes. Both columns should have the same support conditions or the boundary conditions. Barobar hai. Very good. Third?
Length of column same.
Yes, length of column should be same, means column should be identical. Length I should be same. Very good. So these are the 3 conditions any frame should satisfy. So that is loading on frame is symmetrical, support conditions of frames are same, means support conditions or the boundary conditions of the columns, if they are same, hinge or fixed, and the last one, columns are identical, means they should have the same cross-sectional area and the same modulus of elasticity. If any frame is satisfying these 3 conditions, the frame is said to be non-sway. So it doesn't have any horizontal displacement if it is satisfying these 3 conditions. But in addition to these 3 conditions, there is one condition. So if that condition is there in that particular frame, the frame will be non-sway directly, and that condition is constraint or support at beam level. If any frame it is having the support at beam level, suppose here this is the frame, it is having the support, and that support should be either fixed support or hinge support. So if at beam level, if the support is fixed or this support is hinge, so that frame will be non-sway directly. So it may have the unsymmetrical loading condition, boundary conditions of the column, if they are different, but out of these two, if any support is there at beam level, out of these two supports, any one support it is at beam level, so directly that frame is non-sway frame. Why non-sway? Because these two supports, as it is having the horizontal constraint or the horizontal reaction, so horizontal reaction at fixed support as well as horizontal reaction at hinge support, it will restrict the horizontal motion of the frame, or it will restrict the horizontal displacement of the given frame. So if at beam level there is a support, and that support, if it is fixed one or hinge one, so directly you can conclude the given frame is of non-sway type. Okay, so this frame is the non-sway frame. Now tell me, this frame is sway frame or non-sway? This.
Non-sway.
Non-sway.
Non-sway, very good, correct. This frame is non-sway because the loading is symmetrical. If you observe the loading is symmetrical. Second point, columns are identical. If you consider this first column and second column, boundary conditions are same. Columns are identical. And third, columns are identical also. Okay, length is 5 meter, 5 meter. So this particular frame, it is satisfying that three conditions. That's why this is the non-sway frame. Very good. This is the non-sway frame. Now this frame, this given frame is, and this particular support is hinge support. This is the hinge support. This given frame is, suppose this is the point load here. Yes.
Sway frame.
Sway frame.
Non-sway.
Non-sway. Yes. Non-sway frame, because at a beam level, see the support at beam level, there is a hinge support. So that hinge support, it will restrict the horizontal displacement, or it will restrict the horizontal motion of the frame. Okay, so that's why non-sway frame, correctly. So if I replace this hinge support with roller support, and if this is the loading like this, हा जर roller support असेल तर
Non-sway, sir.
roller असेल सीला, instead of hinge, now I have replaced this roller.
Sway.
Yes, very
Sway.
good. In that case, that will be sway frame, because here roller support doesn't have the horizontal reaction. Roller support doesn't have the horizontal reaction. It will have the only vertical reaction. So that's why, due to this lateral load, it will have the motion in the horizontal direction. That's why if at beam level there is only one support, and if that support is roller one, that will be sway frame. That will be sway frame. Good. Now this frame is
Non-sway.
non-sway. Very good, because at beam level there is a fixed support at beam level. That's why non-sway. So these are the non-sway frames. These are the examples of non-sway frame. Now this is the mode of sway, how it is actually bent due to the loading condition. So non-sway frame, it doesn't have the lateral displacement or the lateral horizontal displacement. So the bending of the non-sway frame, it will be like this. So column will have some sort of buckling, then beam will have some sort of bending, and another column will have the buckling. So no any horizontal displacement. Whereas in case of sway frame or the sway mode, it will have the sway, means lateral displacement. And suppose that lateral displacement, it is at beam level, and the amount of sway, it will be delta. And this delta, it is nothing but the lateral displacement, or we can say horizontal displacement. And that horizontal displacement is there for the column only. So this delta, it is considered only for the column. Means what point we have to remember? In case of sway frame, the effect of sway we have to consider only for the column. only for the columns. Now see, this is the columns, and due to the lateral load, it will have they have shifted their position to new position, and that amount of sway or the displacement is delta. Whereas beam, it doesn't have any effect. It will act as the rigid as it is. So there is no any effect of sway in case of beam. Okay, so sway effect we have to consider only for the column members or only for the column elements. This point we have to remember. Now these are the some examples of the sway frames. Now loading is not symmetrical, horizontal load is acting. So these are the sway frames. Means they have the horizontal displacement. This is also a sway frame. Now generally there are two kinds of sway frame. So first sway frame, it is the general sway frame like this. So they have the horizontal loading condition and vertical loading condition. And the second sway frame is that frame, it is subjected to only the lateral load, and that lateral load, it is at beam level. It is at beam level. Suppose this is the frame, it is having only the one horizontal point load at beam level. Only one horizontal point load or the nodal load at a beam level. In that case, it is called as the pure sway frame. It is the pure sway frame, and these are the general sway frame. Okay, pure sway frame means it is having the horizontal load or the lateral load which is acting at beam level. Horizontal load acting at beam level, and no any other external loading acting on a frame, means on a column or beam, no any loading, only horizontal load is acting at beam level at nodal point. That's why it is the pure sway frame, whereas other sway frames are the general sway frames. And for your examination point of view, what they will ask from this second unit, either they will give the non-sway frame, and the second they will give the pure sway frame. Suppose if you neglect this loading of UDL, this is the pure sway frame. Because if you consider the general sway frame, so that analysis required very large time, and this kind of numerical will not be there in examination. Suppose by chance if there is a numerical from this general sway frame in examination, so always try to attempt OR question, because in such type of numerical we have to perform two analysis. One is for non-sway and second it is for sway. So almost it is as good as solving two numericals. So better way, identify the numerical if there is a non-sway frame first, second if it is the pure sway frame. So you can attempt any one of these two, and if in examination by chance if the frame is there from the general sway frame like this, so don't attempt this question. So it is simple but it is very much time consuming. So I will recommend go for the OR question to save your time. Now we will move towards our first part of this morning session, that is the non-sway frame. So in this session we will discuss for the non-sway frame, and in the afternoon session we will discuss for the sway frame. And in today we will conclude our unit number 2, and the next week we will have 1 or 2 numerical on the non-sway frame, or we will have the revision or the problem solving session. Okay, now this is the frame is given. Analyze the frame shown in figure using MDM, movement distribution method. Take EI constant. So this is asked in one of the examination, in some examination or in some examination for 10 marks. Okay, now here EI is constant, and we know that the steps to follow or the approach to the numerical, it will be same as that of the beam. So there are only 4 steps you have to follow. So step number 1 is, yes, what is step number 1 for the analysis of beam? Same steps you have to follow here also. Ajinkya Bhosle, step number 1. 4 स्टेप्स आहेत आपल्याला माहित आहे. पहिली स्टेप काय आहे? Using MDM, how to solve the numericals? There are 4 steps that we have to follow. Step number 1 is, yes, anyone?
Fixed end moment.
Yes, fixed end movement. Second step,
Distribution factors.
Third,
Moment distribution table.
Moment distribution table. And the last one is
Superimposed VMD.
yes, very good.
Superimposed
Superimposed.
VMD.
Yes. So same steps you have to follow. So no any change in the analysis. Same all 4 steps you have to follow. But here, so which step will change? As we know that at a joint B, there are 3 members are connected. There are 3 members. Now in case of beam, what we have discussed, there are 2 members are connected. Here there are 3 members. So distribution factor, in that distribution factor calculation at a joint B, there are 3 members. So that we will discuss step by step. So step number 1. So first we have to identify the frame. Frame is non-sway type, as fixed support is there at beam level. That's why. Now step number 1, it is for the fixed end movements. So initially considering the span AB or member AB. So as AB, it is subjected to UDL on entire span. So fixed end movement M bar AB and M bar BA, it is given by the formula minus plus WL square by 12. W is 20, L is 4 divided by 12. So the movement will be equal and opposite, that is minus 26.67 plus 26.67. So why equal and opposite movement? Because loading is symmetrical, UDL on that member AB. So that's why loading is symmetrical. So minus plus movement we get kilonewton meter. This is for AB. Next, it is for the BC member. Now if you consider the BC member, loading is eccentric. So we will get 2 different movement. M bar BC will be minus WA B square by L square. Put the value. W is 40, A is 2, B is 3 and L is 5. So that's why M bar BC will be minus 28.8, whereas M bar CB will be WA square B by L square, and that will be positive 19.2 kilonewton meter. Next member, that is the column member BD. This is the BD. Now it is subjected to the central point load. This is the point load acting at 2 meter distance. So that is nothing but the central point load. And formulas we are having for the fixed end moment are minus plus WL by 8. So minus 20 into 4 by 8. So that will be minus 10 for M bar BD and plus 10 it is for M bar DB. So these are the fixed end movement. So the weightage for this first step, it will be 2 marks for your INSEM examination. Okay. Step number 2, it is for the distribution factors. For the distribution factor, so this is the frame we are having. So if you observe the joint, at a joint B, there are 3 members are connected. There are 3 members are connected, means we have to consider member BA, member BC and member BD. And for all the members, we have to find out the relative stiffness, then summation of relative stiffness at a joint, and K by summation of K, we get the distribution factor. Now tell me, what is the relative stiffness for BA member? BA member, far end A is fixed 1. So the relative stiffness is given by relative stiffness for BA member is this member.
I by L.
Yes, BA is I by L. Good. Then similarly,
I by L.
yes, I by L. Good. Then for BC member, relative stiffness for BC member.
Three I by 4L.
Yes, 3I by 4L, because in case of
Roller.
yes, BC member, C is the simple end or the roller end. It is the end support and that is roller. So that's why 3 by 4 into I by L, and that of BD, it will be I by L, because D support, it is the fixed support, fixed end, far end is fixed. So these are the relative stiffnesses. So we have to prepare the table format. So this is the table format. So at a joint B, there are 3 members connected, BA, BC, BD. Okay, so for BA, relative stiffness is given by I by L. L is 4, so that's why 0.25 UI. Then that of BC, C end is simple or roller. So that's why relative stiffness is given by 3/4 I by L. So L is 5, so 3/20. So that will be 0.15 I. Whereas BD, I by L, L is 4. So I by 4, it is 0.25 I. Now next, make the summation of relative stiffness at a joint. So add these three values. So what we get, 0.650. So this is the total relative stiffness at a joint. So for the distribution factor, so K by summation of K. So for BA, K is 0.25 divided by 0.65. So that is nothing but the 0.385. That is for BA. Similarly, if you observe for BD, the relative stiffness is same. So that's why 0.25 divided by 0.65, that is also 0.385. And that of BC, 0.15 divided by 0.650. So the distribution factor is 0.230. So these are the distribution factors. Okay. And if you can cross check it, the summation of distribution factor at a joint, it should be 1. Okay, this is the cross check. एक्झाम मध्ये हे नाही लिहिले तरी चालेल, 1 किंवा कॅल्क्युलेट नाही केले तरी फक्त क्रॉस चेक करायचं आहे. दिस समेशन ऑफ डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन फॅक्टर at a joint, it should be 1. Means what we can conclude here, so if there are n number of members, 10, 500, 200, anything, n number of members, but the summation of distribution factor at a joint, it should be unity or it should be 1. That is the funda. Next, and the most important step, it is for the moment distribution table. Okay, moment distribution table. But before that, if you observe this particular beam, now tell me, what about the carryover factor? This is the frame we are having. So where we are having the carryover factor. So no doubt there are 4 joint A, B, C, D. And at joint B, there are 3 members. Now tell me about the carryover factors. Where we will have the carryover factors. So carryover factor will be there for 3 conditions. First, if the far end is fixed. Second, if the far end is continuous support or the intermediate support. And if the far end is rigid joint. Okay. And that rigid joint should be continuous rigid joint. Now here, what we are having, the far end is fixed A, means BA to AB half carryover will be there. Again, far end D, it is fixed, means BD to DB half carryover will be there. Okay, means carryover factor will be there only for 2 members, that will be BA to AB and BD to DB, as far end is fixed. Okay, so there are only 2 carryover factors. And for the rigid joint, so the same funda what we have applied for the continuous support or the intermediate support, same funda we have to consider for the rigid joint, like this. So if there are 2 rigid joints, it will have the carryover factor to each other, same way as that of your intermediate support. Here it is only one rigid joint is there, so no any carryover factor to this particular rigid joint. समजते, 2 rigid joint असतील, then and then it will have the carryover factor to each other. Okay, so here it is only one rigid joint, so no any carryover factor will be there for this particular rigid joint. Same funda as that of the continuous support. But here, if you observe the end support C, that is roller. So what adjustment we have to do here for support C? Support C चं काय होईल? Yes, anyone? End support C, that is simple. So what adjustment we have to do? सांगता येईल? Anyone?
सर मूवमेंट 0 करायची.
Yes, movement 0 करायची. कोणती movement 0 करायची? Fixed end movement. M bar CB. Yes. by adding opposite movement to it. Very good. Type number 2 जे आपण बीम मध्ये केलं तेच फ्रेम मध्ये करायचंय. So these are the 3 points we have to remember. Now we will see the table format. Movement distribution table. So this is the table format. So first, these are the joints A, B, C, D. Then members AB for joint A. Then there are 3 members at a joint B, BA, BC, and BD. So for simplicity, I have considered joint D earlier. Then I have considered the C joint. Okay. So for D, there is DB member, whereas C, there is CB member. Then carry over factor. Okay, carry over factor. So carry over factor is there from BA to AB, then BD to DB. So this is the typing mistake. Okay, here. So carry over factor is there from BA to AB, as A far end is A is fixed one, and BD to DB as far end D it is fixed one. So दोनच carry over factor आहेत, BA to AB, BD to DB. Okay. Then distribution factors. So from step number 2, what distribution factors we have got? So we have to write down the distribution factors for respective member BA, BD, and BC. Okay. So these are the distribution factors. Now write down the fixed end moment for each and every member calculated in step number 1. So what you have got? M bar AB, M bar BA, M bar BC, then M bar CB here. I have written C away from D. M bar BD, M bar DB. So these are the fixed end moment we have considered. Now, why I have written that C joint or the CB member after D? Because we know that support seat is the end support, and that is simple one. Roller ahe, that is simple one, that is roller. So the movement at C, it should be 0. So we have to make the adjustment. We have to make the adjustment for simply supported end. We have to make the adjustment for simply supported end. So that's why M bar CB is plus 19.20. So we have to make this movement at 0. So add minus 19.20. So we have to add, or we have to subtract minus 19.20 from this M bar CB. So if you add this, the movement will be 0. So that we have to achieve, and half carry over of that movement of CB will go to BC member. लक्षात घ्या, member काय आहे तो CB, त्याचा half carry over कुणाला जाणार? BC ला जाणार. So CB to BC means minus 19.2 divided by 2. So this half carry over will go to BC member only, BC member, that is minus 9.60. So this is the correction for simply supported end. So what we have discussed in case of type number 2. So that correction we have to do here. Okay, that correction we have to do. So after this correction, we have to work out for the final fixed end moment. After this, write down the final fixed end moment. So first, M bar AB, it will be as it is, minus 26.67, M bar BA plus, then M bar BC will change because initially minus 28.8 and half movement from CB member, it is the correction, that is minus 9.6. So if you add these two, so what we get? Minus 38.4. That is the fixed end moment for BC member that you have to consider hence onward. Whereas for M bar BD, M bar DB, it will be same, minus 10 plus 10. And now see, for C member or C joint, MCB or M bar CB will be 0, as support C is the simple, movement should be 0. So that's why we have made this adjustment. Now for this final fixed end moment, we have to perform the iterations, or we have to perform the balance step or the carryover movement step or our cycle. Now here we have to consider a joint B, but in case of joint B, there are 3 members, BA, BC and BD. आतापर्यंत B मध्ये 2च member होते. Here there are 3 members, but the funda will remain the same. The basic concept or funda, it doesn't change. Make the algebraic summation of moment at a joint. Make the algebraic summation of moment at a joint मल्टिप्लाय विथ -1, सेम फंडा, नो एनी चेंज. इथं काय असेल, फक्त 3 मुवमेंटचं समेशन करायचंय. 26.67 minus 38.4 minus 10. So summation of movement will be minus 21.73. This is the summation. The balancing movement or the distributing movement will be multiply with negative sign or multiply with -1, so that the balancing movement will be plus 21.73. This is the balancing movement we have to distribute. How to distribute? With respect to the distribution factor. This 21.73 into 0.385. So that will be 8.366. So again 21.73 into 0.44. So that will be 4.998. Again same 21.73 into 0.385. So the movement will be 8.366. So these are the balancing movement. Okay, we have worked out after the multiplying the balancing movement with respect to the distribution factor. Next, carryover movement. Now this carryover movement depends on the carryover factor. So what carryover factor says? BA movement in balance state will go to AB and BD movement will go to DB. So that's why according to the carryover factor, carryover movement will be BA to AB 50% and BD to DB 50% movement will go. So 8.366 divided by 2, that will be 4.183 for AB and 4.183 for DB, because movements are same for BA and BD here in this case. Now in this carryover movement step, no any movement present at a joint B. So that's why this is the last cycle. This is the last cycle. So as we don't have any movement for balance further, or further iteration we doesn't have any movement at a joint B. So this is the last step. Now make the summation for the movement. So summation for the final movement, we have to consider from the final fixed end movement. So minus 26.67 plus 4.183. So the movement will be minus 22.487. Okay. Then for BA member, 26.67 plus 8.366. So that will be 35.036. Then for BC, minus 38.4 plus 4.998, that will be minus 33.402. Then similarly for BD, minus 10 plus 8.366, so minus 1.634. And that of DB, plus 10 plus 4.183, that will be 14.183. And whereas for support C, moment should be 0. So these are the final moment. Now what is your observation for joint B? So at a joint B, there are 3 members. So what final condition we should have there? Final condition at a joint B, what we should have at a joint B, because if there are 2 members, we know that MBA plus MBC is equal to 0. But here at a joint B, what condition we should have? Summation of final movement at a joint B, again it should be 0. Now here at a joint B, there are 3 members, BA, BC, BD. But if you make the summation, for these 3 movement, M, BA, BC and BD, या तिघांचं जर summation केलं, that is also 0. So this is the cross check here. In case of B, so directly you can observe MBA plus MBC is equal to 0. एक plus असते plus 10 तर दुसरी minus 10 असते. But here, as there are 3 members, the summation of 3 movements should be 0. If it is 0, your calculations are up to the mark. Correct. Okay. So these are the final movement we have got. This is the step number 3. So what point we have to remember? Carryover factor, and as our end support C, it is simple one. So we have to adjustment for simply supported end by making fixed end movement at 0 and half carried over to the adjacent member. Last step, it is for the superimposed BMD. Now this is the frame. So initially, so this is the adjustment for simply supported end. So that we have considered. Now for superimposed BMD, so first draw the reference frame as it is. AB, BC, BD, mark the distances. Next for AB, there is a UDL. Draw the free BMD, that is the parabolic curve. Mark the maximum bending moment, WL square by 8. Then that of BC, it is subjected to eccentric point load. So that will be triangle. Maximum bending moment, WAB by L, that is 48. Then for BD, there is the central point load. Central point load, again that will be a triangle, and the maximum bending moment WL by 4. Okay, this is the free BMD. Now consider the support moment. Okay, MAB, MBA. So if you observe the movements here, for AB member minus plus movement, then that of BC, one is minus and this is 0, and that of BD member minus plus. What it indicates? बघा, AB member साठी movement काय आहे बघा, minus आणि plus. So what about the BMD? For a member, if movements are in opposite direction, what about BMD?
BMD is above the reference line.
Above the reference line, or it will lie on the same plane. It will lie on the same plane. Good. Means movement आहे plus आणि minus. Movement आहे plus आणि minus, or the minus आणि plus. So BMD will lie on the same plane. So that's why here MAB 22.487, MBA that will be 35.036 join with the straight line. Then for MBC 33.402, MCB is 0, join with the straight line. Then for BD, it is again it will lie on the same plane because movements are in the opposite direction. Okay, so this is superimposed BMD. So this is the complete solution for this non-sway frame. Okay, so I will give one numerical for the homework, and in next session we will discuss for the sway frame. That is the most important part of the unit. That is the pure sway frame analysis. We will discuss at 11:45, and I will share the assignment number 2 also today. And that assignment you have to solve, make a PDF file, and you can upload that file on the Google link provided, or you can WhatsApp me or email me also. Okay, thank you.